it's great to see everybody here today. I want to tell you that everybody that showed up here is already a winner. You're going to win your year just for showing up. If you haven't met me already, most of you have, I'm Lisa, I'm one of the team members at Stagecoach Family Chiropractic. We are so excited for what you have in store today, how this day will impact true and lasting effects on your overall health. I want to introduce our speakers for today. With over 20 years of experience in the principles of holistic health and chiropractic care, please welcome to the stage Dr. Barker and Dr. Green.
All right, first of all, before we get started here, I'd like for y'all to watch this quick clip here and we'll get rolling, okay?
New year, new you. Nothing's changed though. Unless you decide to make something change. Unless you decide to do something different. This is that New Year's energy that pump you up, that get you up out your seat, to get you up out your bed, to put yourself in a position to win each and every day of your life.
You have to go into 2023 with the mindset that you're going to win. You have to go into 2023 with the belief that no one and nothing, not even your fears, can stop you.
It's not going to be perfect. You may slip or stumble or even fail, but you're going to get back up and keep going. You're going to do that because I know how bad you want this. You're going to do that because I know you're a fighter. You're going to do that because there have been many people who've been down this road and have failed, but you've watched them keep going and you've watched them be successful.
See, the you from 365 days from now will love you for taking action. The you from 365 days from now will love you for following through. The you from 365 days from now will reap the benefits of all of your hard work, for all of your action taking, for all of your execution. No excuses. Your mindset is the time is now. New year, new you. What are you gonna do?
Now you guys ready for us? Well, look, guys, I'm so glad you guys are here. Today really does have the potential to change your life. And that's up to you as well, because you take in what you want to take in from today. And that's what our prayer is for this event, for these next 2 hours, is that we pray that God opens up your heart and opens up your mind to receive whatever it is that you need to receive today. Now, Dr. Green and I are going to be going through a lot of great content today. So 3 things we want you to come away with. Number 1 is have a correct understanding of what your metabolism is, how it works, and also you'll find out how it's more to it than just weight loss. And number 2, you're going to learn the top foods, toxins, and habits that destroy your metabolism. And these are things that you probably are doing and you have no idea that you're doing it. So we got to pull those out. And also you can be going through the things, the top foods, habits, and also the top nutrients that help you to optimize and build your metabolism to be the best it can be. All right? Then the third thing is you're going to walk away with the 5 key action steps to be confident and certain that you can be very healthy, not just this year, but any year of your life. Okay? So if it sounds good to teach you those things, say aye. Aye. So I want to first start with a story here. Simon Says move forward. There you go. There you go.
All right, guys. So this is Mona. There she is again. Mona was seeing another chiropractic office in the area for quite a while, actually, and she wasn't getting really great results. She was suffering with lifelong back pain and hip pain from scoliosis. She was having frequent headaches. She was dealing with allergies and asthma since childhood. So about 4 years ago, Mona started coming to our office and really getting amazing results. Her back pain, her hip pain resolved. Her headaches did as well. And her allergies and asthma decreased. it wasn't just that our care was so much different, because she was actually seeing another really good chiropractor in the area. What changed for her was her mindset shifted. So even now, after all these years all these years in her office, she still makes her adjustments. I see her all the time at her Max T3 classes on Saturdays. She's here right now learning more about her metabolism today. So she's always proactively looking for a way to improve her health. And almost every time when she's in the office for adjustments, she's telling me about something else she's working on her own, whether it's a different type of intermittent fasting or even like long periods of fasting that she knows so much about. She was teaching me about it a few months ago. Recently, she cleaned up all of her personal care products, so she's always just looking for a way to be better. She's empowered to take control of her own health. And that's one of our favorite things that we're able to do in our office.
And actually, Mona, would you stand and go? We'll give herself a hand here. I'm glad she's here, so give her a hand. Like, she's amazing. Like,
I told her we weren't going to make her do that.
But I almost got to, because it speaks volumes, like when you continue to show up and you continue to work on your health, because that's what health is all about, right? And she's one of the reasons, and so are you, the reasons why we do this stuff in the first place. And it's our mission, in Max Living, as Max Living doctors, we want to empower you to experience that hope and that healing from above, down, inside out. And we do that through the 5 essentials, right? Balancing your nervous system through corrective chiropractic care and ongoing maintenance care. Also your mindset, your nutrition, your exercise, and your detoxing of your body. When you put those 5 together, you become healthy and well, and they're strong health habits that you can do for as long as possible. And what's so cool about today, also, if you didn't know this, but we have about 200 offices that do this same type care in Max Living, and they've taken a group of people just like you to this exact same makeover. So give that a hand as well. So that's pretty cool, right? So not only, so it's the power of the Peloton. Not only is it just you guys learning how to get healthy through these 5 essentials, there's also thousands of other people across the United States and Canada that are doing the exact same thing. So you're part of a greater mission as well, which is really cool. So as we go through today, it may feel like we're hosing you down with a ton of content and information and things like that, but really it boils down to just committing to 2 things today before we get started, okay? Here's what I want you to do. Number 1, on your welcome packet, on the back of that, there's an area where you can actually take notes. Who does this nowadays, right? You can actually use your phones to take notes, but I want you to take pen to paper this time, even though act like this is a pen right here. So you can take pen to paper and write down notes today. Be a great note taker, because research shows that when you do put pen to paper, you have a 90% retention of that information, and you're more inclined to take action on it than just passively listening, which is only just 10%. All right? And number 2, commit, is we all know knowledge is power, right? That's just part of the journey, isn't it? Knowledge is potential, just potential. True power comes from taking what? Action, right? If you take action, you're going to make things happen, right? I can give you health, right? But if you don't take that health information and implement it yourself and make the choices, none of it's going to matter, right? So I want you guys to be action takers today. Does that make sense? So if you're committed to those 2 things, say aye. Aye. Some of y'all also might be wondering, why am I here today? Like, personally, why are you here today? Well, I feel like God has placed in you, in each and every one of you, a purpose to fulfill, right? And you can't serve that purpose well if you're sick, suffering, or dying, or dead, right? So to speak. I feel like our job is to help you reach your fullest health potential, right? And that's through health and wellness. That way you can live the life of your dreams, the way God intended you to live, which is like living out your purpose and your passion. But if you look around America right now, that's not happening, is it?
Yeah, it's definitely not something that's happening today. Obesity and poor health, they've reached really epidemic proportions in our country. 75% of us now qualify as overweight, and over 40% of us are obese. So exactly how big of a problem is this? According to a recent study, obesity-related health issues and loss of productivity cost the U.S. economy $1.72 trillion each and every year. So a staggering amount. Being that it is so important and so expensive, it's really something that the medical establishment has studied in great detail, maybe more than just about anything. So research tells us all about how we gain weight, how we become obese. They know really every facet of this. It tells us that it not only comes from the food we eat, it comes from when we eat it. It comes from soda and sugar. This study is really interesting. It says if you drink soda, it doesn't really matter what else you do, you're probably still going to gain weight. It comes from poor sleep. And all this is only the tip of the iceberg. They know so much more about why we become obese. We also know all the ways that gaining that weight harms us. And that does everything from causing cancer and heart disease, or it simply just shortens our life expectancy. So the medical system as a whole knows exactly how we gain weight and exactly what it does to our health. So they know beyond any shadow of a doubt that it's our lifestyle that determines if we're going to gain weight or not. They know it's our actions and our choices that lead us towards obesity. It's pretty simple. There's not really a whole lot of debate about this topic. Lifestyle dictates our weight. So they've come to the conclusion, they've also come to the conclusion that lifestyle choices don't work when it actually comes to losing weight. And we see evidence of this all the time. And a lot of people that, if they go to the doctor, they've gained some weight, maybe they're pre-diabetic. The first step isn't, hey, you need to exercise, hey, you need to diet better, you need to avoid sugar. It's, here's your metformin prescription. You're going to be on this. That's what you need to do to correct your prediabetes and to lose weight. They work under the assumption that drugs or surgery are necessary to move you towards health. So exactly how sure are they that we're incapable of moving towards health and wellness and a proper weight on our own? Recently, the American Academy of Pediatrics, just back in January, released new weight loss recommendations for children, and that includes weight loss drugs for 12-year-olds and weight loss surgery for 13-year-olds.
This was just a month ago.
Yeah.
It just came out. Like this year, 2023. Like crazy.
So I've been thinking about this since I saw it. So it's so crazy. They know exactly every detail of how we gain weight. And then they're going to try to tell us the exact inverse of it to lose weight. So they're suggesting weight loss drugs and surgery despite every little bit of their own research saying that's exactly wrong. So, a whole lot of lying happening, but I think we should start talking about some truth. And the first thing we should really talk about is the truth about fat.
You know what's interesting is the fat in and on your body has a purpose. It serves a purpose, believe it or not. There are three primary purposes of fat. The first one is to insulate your body, protect your organs, and store energy, with protecting your organs being the most important one out of the three. But without fat, our body would be unable to function properly, right? There's nobody on the planet that's living that has zero fat in their body. Like, you have fat in your body. But where does fat become a problem? When does a good thing become way too much? Before we dive into that, I don't know if you guys knew this, but there are 6 different types of body fat in you. Did y'all know that? There's 6 different types. Okay, I was kind of like, when I was looking through this, I'm like, I thought body fat was just body fat, just call it one thing, but it's 6 different things, right? So the first one is essential fat. This is the fat that keeps you alive. It helps you function and live. This is found in your nerves, so it's in your nervous system. It's also in bone marrow and brain. So important stuff there. The second type is brown fat. That's primarily found in babies, but adults do have small amounts. Now, brown fat is what burns fatty acids, right? That helps keep the body nice and warm too. But that fat's found mostly in babies. The third one is white fat. This is the main type of fat that comes to mind. The body uses white fat cells to store energy. So this is more of an energy store, is white fat. Not so much with burning things, it's more with storage. Now, some white fat is essential in your body, but too much of it can be very dangerous to your health. There's another term called beige fat. This is actually what helps with fat burning as well, and more than storing. It's very similar to brown fat in babies. The fat that we mostly see from the outside on us is what's called subcutaneous fat. Subcutaneous fat. Subcutaneous means below the skin, and that's what most of us can actually you can tell from when you look at people from the outside. That's a mixture of the brown, beige, and white fat all put together is what that is. Now the last one, called visceral fat, this is actually one of the most dangerous ones, and I'll kind of hang on this one for a little bit too. This is concentrated around the abdomen in most people and near your major organs. That's why it's called visceral. Visceral is a medical term meaning organ. Visceral fat is considered the most dangerous type and increases many risk of many diseases. Well, it increases a high risk for many diseases. So here are the dangers of that. It's linked to a release of certain hormones and proteins that result in chronic inflammation. Say chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation. And this chronic inflammation can cause damage to your arteries, to your liver, and it can also cause your body to have trouble breaking down fat and sugar. Visceral fat also promotes the production of LDL cholesterol, which is considered the not so happy cholesterol in your body, which means it's more harmful for you than good. That'll also cause your arteries to narrow even more. Too much of this type of fat, so too much of the visceral fat, has been one of the reasons why obesity is still on the rise, and it's also rising fast with our kids.
Yeah, so without repeating myself too much, we live in a country where about 75% of us are overweight, nearly half of us are obese. So clearly what we've been doing hasn't been working recently, because every year they release those numbers, they keep getting higher and higher. This is exactly what makes us, at Stagecoach and within Max Living different. We know you're designed to be well. We just need to really work to find the cause of our problem. And that's true no matter what issues people come to us with, whether it's lower back pain or sleep issues or weight issues. We always try to get to the cause. Getting to the root cause is the exact opposite of suggesting drugs and surgery for overweight little kids. So when it comes to obesity, the most obvious cause ends up being the food that we eat. And for most of us, that's the standard American diet. We can call it the SAD diet. So this is a diet that's defined. This is a diet defined by processed foods. Things like fast food, soda, and pasta, and bread, they're the base of this diet for most people. The foods prevalent in the SAD diet, they all have one thing in common. And what they do is they turn to sugar almost immediately in our body. And excess sugar turns to inflammation. So that's why we've all heard sugar is bad for us, because it causes inflammation. That massive amount of excess sugar causes inflammation really everywhere, and that's one of the main things that leads to chronic disease in our bodies. So it's one of the main causes for metabolic issues and chronic health issues like obesity.
Now, some of you might be thinking this too, but Doc, hey, I got a slow metabolism, right? Who saw that before? Yeah? But you'll find out real quick that that's not totally true. What the truth is that when it comes to your genetics, for example, it's your genes that load the trigger of the gun, but your lifestyle choices, say lifestyle. That's what pulls the trigger, okay? So that tells us that we can change our lifestyle to change our slow metabolism into an optimal metabolism no matter how old we are. I've seen it happen many times over too, which is pretty cool. But from some of you brainiacs, I kind of want to dive in a little bit with what is metabolism in the first place, right? What does this really mean? There are a couple of ways to look at it, but overall, it's the process by which your body takes food, meaning the nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins. It takes food, all those things, and turns them into energy. Say energy. Your digestive system will break these things down into sugars and fatty acids. That way your body can use as fuel. So it's like you're stopping by the gas tank and you're putting fuel into your car, right? Whenever you eat, you're putting fuel. So like one of our concepts when it comes to eating, a lot of times it's like you're not eating food for comfort, you're eating food for what? Fuel. Good, different way to look at it, right? So your body will use this fuel right away, or it's going to store it. And if it stores it, it's going to store it into either your body fat or glycogen in your muscles. Overall, though, to keep it very simple, metabolism is all the chemical processes that keep us alive. There's a lot going on in your body. There's always chemical. Your entire body is made of nothing but chemical processes that are happening that are natural in the body. That includes things like breathing, digestion, immune function, hormone production, growing and repairing cells. So a lot of things that's going on without you even thinking about it. Your body is made of nothing but cells, right? Research is saying it's around 34 trillion cells that the body is made up of. And each one of those cells have their own energy, right? All of them do. They produce their own energy and they're able to perform the functions they're designed to do. So if all of our cells are functioning optimally and they're also metabolizing optimally, then our nerve cells can send signals to each other. Our muscle cells can move our bodies. Our white blood cells can fight off infections, and we can also get rid of excess visceral fat in our body when all that's functioning the way it should be. But as you can see, if it's not, then that's where it shows problems, which we're going to dive into more too. So that means an optimal metabolism, say optimal, is vital to every single process your body performs. So basically your metabolism is nothing more than like an engine in your vehicle. Right? Think about this. We never shut our body off, do we? If we did, we'd be dead. Right? But we shut our car off at night when we come home from work, but our bodies are always staying in idle, especially when we're at rest or when we're at sleep or even just sitting there. It's an idle. Does that make sense? When you perform activity, for example, that's like revving up your engine. The more intensity the activity, the higher the engine revving goes. When you train and condition your metabolism, your basal metabolic rate, your BMR for short, goes up, meaning your idle is higher than other people at that time. That means you're burning more fat and you're burning more calories, even just sitting there in your sleep. So when we say we have a slow metabolism, what we actually mean is we have a slow or a low what? BMR, right? So our BMR, basal metabolic rate, is determined or affected by our body size, our body composition, which is how much muscle and fat that we have built up in our bodies, our sex, our age, and our, here's it again, lifestyle choices. And here's the good news about it. Two of those things we can actually change, right? And we have a lot of control over. And that's what? Our body size, weight, composition, and our lifestyle choices. Those are the two things we have our total control over. We do. Our sex and our age, we don't, because that just is going to happen no matter what, right? We can't go backwards. We can't be like Benjamin Button, right? Who's ever seen that movie before? In a long time. But before we go into those things, Dr. Green, could you expand on the things that affect our metabolism, sir?
Yeah, so there's 5 main things. The first being age. Dr. Barker just mentioned we can't control that. Our BMR does go down as we age, but there's not much we can do about it, so there's not a whole lot of point in really talking about it. Diet, exercise, and lifestyle are what we're going to focus on today. And we're going to focus on those 3 things because those are the things we can change. Those are the things we have control over. And the last one there, genetics. So genetics does play a role in this. It's not a huge one. And like Dr. Barker said, genetics kind of loads the gun for us, but it doesn't guarantee an outcome. So I know a lot of people worry about genetics for all kinds of different things, whether it's metabolism or arthritis or anything you can think of. So if you're that person, go ahead and write this word down. It's epigenetics. So that's EPI genetics. And this is a really cool thing. And what it means, basically to describe it in a few sentences, it means diet, exercise, and lifestyle are powerful enough that they can literally turn off our bad genes. So,
And that's
really,
cool,
really
isn't
cool.
it? Like
Yeah.
like research has proven that for years that we can turn off our own genes by making correct lifestyle choices. Like I would say that's awesome right there, right? We have control.
Exactly, yeah. So look that up later today. Do some reading on it. You won't be disappointed. But before we really dig into those topics, what happens when we mess up these 5 things for too long?
Yep.
We end up with metabolic diseases. So, and as you may have guessed by now, things are really going wrong for most of us in this country. A few years ago, a study was done at UNC, and they found that only 12% of Americans are metabolically healthy. So that means essentially 90% of Americans have some sort of metabolic disease. That means nearly everyone in this country has some sort of chronic disease going on, whether they know it or not. And what are some of these metabolic diseases? I think there's kind of the obvious ones, like obesity, diabetes, heart disease, but it also includes a lot less obvious things like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, arthritis, hormonal issues and infertility, cancer, and actually we were talking about epigenetics. In cancer, a lot of times those cancerous cells can rewrite their own genetic code so they can kind of mess with their own metabolism and use way more energy than they're supposed to. Metabolism also affects how we sleep. Everyone knows sleep's important, don't we? So if we're not getting 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep, then our bodies can't heal properly. Not enough sleep can even lead to an unbalancing of this pair of hormones that controls how much food we eat. So the hormones are really interesting. There's 2 main ones. They're called leptin and ghrelin. I think how you spell ghrelin is G-H-R-E-L-I-N. So
It's like gremlins. No kid.
yeah, and that's the hunger hormone. So that one's kind of obvious what it does. Leptin is the hormone that tells you when you're full. So that one's probably more important for most of us.
Yep.
So when you aren't sleeping enough, or if you just chronically overeat and eat way too much all the time, your body starts to build up a resistance to the hormone leptin. And when that happens, you never know when you're full, so you continue to overeat and overeat. So obviously, that leads to further weight gain, further metabolic issues, and further damage to our metabolism.
So here's the bottom line. When we go back to basal metabolic rate, or BMR, the amount of energy and calories your body burns at rest is always going to be higher in muscle than it is in fat, right? Fat really doesn't do a whole lot of, fat really doesn't need a whole lot of energy to sustain itself, because it's there to protect your organs, insulate your body, do things of just like, just sitting there. It doesn't require a whole lot of energy to do that. Help cholesterol work, and also, there's fat in your brain as well, so you want to make sure that's functioning properly too. But the more lean muscle we have in our bodies and the less fat we have, and that ratio is like, higher muscle, lean muscle. I'm not saying big muscles, I mean lean muscle like I got. No, I'm just kidding. lean muscle in our bodies and less fat that we have, our body composition and weight will be in its ideal range. Like your body has no choice but to go to that. And I just thought of something, Dr. Green. Since we all kind of declared we're winning our year of 2023, why not give away and win some free stuff? Who wants to win free stuff? All right, let's do a raffle. How about that? Y'all come on up here. We have some nice stuff to give you, so get ready. I know everybody should have their raffle stuff here, so take it away, ladies.
If you will look at one of your pages, it should be the 2nd or 3rd page. We have some information about our vendors today. You also have your recipe for the protein bites that we had out there. But the first one is going to be from Steidel Apiaries. Dan Steidel is one of our great patients, and he raises bees. Is that how you say it?
And he knows more about honey than any human I've ever met. It's
Yes.
so interesting.
He is, and it's great for allergies. He has bee pollen and local honey. So this is a huge jar of fresh local honey. So
I'd love to win that.
yes, I would too.
Seriously.
Okay.
Ready?
Drum roll. April Valentino.
Hey, there
Or
she is.
Valentine.
All right, good job, Miss April. All right. Good stuff.
Okay, our next one is from our vendor set up here in the back. She has an organization called Parents for Kids Health, and she has so many healthy resources. So make sure you stop by her table and chat with her a bit. But she has some makeup products out there, also some information about Norwex, and that's what we're giving away today. So,
Yeah, assortment
drum
of
roll,
stuff.
please.
Assortment of things. All right.
Sherry Magdalo.
Hey, it's Sherry, yeah.
Is she in here? Her daughter can
Yeah,
grab it for
she had
her.
just stepped out to go to the bathroom, I think.
Woo!
But she's here.
Okay.
No, I saw her.
Last one is from us, and it is a giant jar of our great bone broth protein. And if you've ever tried it, you know it's the best protein that you've ever tasted, and it's so smooth and tastes so great. We have chocolate and vanilla out there, so when you win, if you'd rather have vanilla, you can grab vanilla out there afterwards. But
Personally, I love the chocolate more than vanilla.
Lisa Kennedy. Yay!
All right, yeah. Oh, Mama won it. All right. Hey, Sherry, you won something. You did, yeah. Rachel's got it. All right, so boosting our fat loss to go from the slower BMR to a higher BMR, from changing our slow metabolism to our optimal metabolism, there is an actual right and correct way to do that. Would you guys want to know what that is? That's why you're all here, right? And that's why I'm here too. Oop, I'm going the wrong way here. Here they are. Here's the 5 key action steps, or we call them the 5 health essentials. If you're new to the Max Living Way, these are the 5 health essentials that you can do day in and day out to help you get healthy and well. Now, when it comes to transforming our metabolism, we're going to stick to these concepts for these 5 essentials today. The first one is optimal spinal alignment and nervous system. The second one is clean whole food nutrition. The third is minimize toxins and detox. The fourth one is move your body. And the last one is the overarching theme of mindset, and we call it stress less, in the form of leveraging your stress. And what I mean by that is we all deal with some type of stress. I don't care who you are, you deal with stress. But how you leverage that stress will be the difference. So that's what we're going to look at it as, how to leverage your stress. Okay? Now I call these my 5 strong health habits. Say strong health habits. Because when you develop these as habits and you do them day in and day out, you're being proactive towards your overall health. Okay? So I want to start here. Our most important and foundational one, which is optimizing your spinal alignment and nervous system. And this is actually where it comes to balancing your nervous system through corrective chiropractic care and ongoing maintenance care. Before I really dive into that, we first need to know, what is health, right? Like, go way back to like when you were in like elementary school or middle school or high school when you probably first heard about this, and you got told, oh, what is health? Well, let's dive into that a little more, shall we? We've been taught ever since then our whole lives to base our health on how we look and or how we feel, right? Couldn't it be true that you can feel fine, but then drop dead of a heart attack or get diagnosed with cancer? Absolutely. Could it also be true that you can eat the best foods in the world, exercise every single day, be positive, have a great looking body like mine, and yet be...
Humble today.
I gotta laugh at that. I don't even know why I said that one. But yet still be sick and get diagnosed with an inflammatory bowel disease. Absolutely, right? Why is that? Well, it's because health is not just about how you look or how you feel. Those are the byproducts of health. It's really all in the word itself, the first 4 letters. It's how you what? Heal, right? Health is 100% healing, 100% functioning. That means optimal healing and function, body, mind, and spirit. That's health, ladies and gentlemen. Did your doctor ever tell you what that was? Well, did they tell you that answer? Heck no, right? You won't get that. But since we know health is 100% function, what controls it, right? What controls our health? Is it nutrition that controls our health? Is it your mindset that controls your health? Is it exercise that actually controls your health? No, right? Those are things that contribute to your health. Say contribute. Right? They contribute, but they don't control it, right? So what is that system in your body that controls everything in your body? It's the one system that controls all health and healing. And what system is that? Nervous system, right? And of course you guys know that the one organ of your nervous system that controls it all is your what? Brain, right? So isn't it really cool how your brain sends healing signals and it runs down the spinal cord, out the nerves to all the organs and tissues and cells of the body, telling you how to beat your heart, how your lungs to breathe, how you digest food, how you even digest liquids, even how you absorb things, even how you heal up from chronic disease. It's pretty cool how this system right here controls all that without you even thinking about it. Like, for example, what if I were to cut the spinal cord right here, and where that nerve is that controls this part of the body? Like, is that going to function at 100%? No, right? Well, what's happening is that the brain cannot communicate to it, right? So we're starting to lose that communication over time, because this is a dumb organ unless this tells it what to do, right? This controls that. Does that make sense? If I were to cut the nerve going to your heart, for example, I never would do that obviously, but if I were to cut the nerve going to the heart, what happens to you right away? You're done, right? Everything's shut down, you're dead. Now what if I were to squeeze the nerve going to your heart? You wouldn't die right away, would you? Would you feel it? Probably not. But here's the thing though. At some point, the brain cannot communicate effectively to that organ, and all of a sudden you start to get what? Some type of symptom, or a warning sign, or something that, like maybe the blood pressure would go up. Or sometimes it could be the heart attack, right? And that's why we take great pride and also we're so serious about this, about how your spine is in alignment. And here's why. You guys know this too, that your spine surrounds and protects the entire nervous system. And that's why Dr. Green and I put a major emphasis on making sure that this isn't a specific correct alignment. Like, you know how like when you see a doctor, they always want to make sure they're focused on a certain number, right? Well, we're focused on a certain angle in your spine, or we make sure that it's nice and straight, right? When you look at it from the front, our spine should be straight, right? With the hips being level. Now when I turn it to the side though, it should not be straight, it should have 3 what? Curves. And a lot of you know this already. This is like going back to when you first started in the office, but some of you, you're not told this stuff, right? Or sometimes we just need a reminder of this, right? We have to go back to the beginning, go back to the foundation. You always want to go back to the foundation whenever we get off on health, right? From the side view, we have a curve in your neck, mid back and lower back, shaped like a C shape, 45 degrees to be exact. So when everything's lined up and the bones are in its correct alignment, how healthy is this person? 100%, right? Because the brain can communicate to do what? To everything. Telling you how to heal and how to function and do everything properly and heal. But y'all do this a lot. We sit down a lot and drive our car. We have the car accidents. We also work in front of a computer all day like this. Our kids are always on the phones like this as well. We have those old sports injuries. We lift, we bend, we twist, we have hard physical jobs. All those things will cause this. Your spine to shift out of its normal alignment and do what to the nerves? Pinch it, right? So, going back to our spine, how it protects the nervous system, now it's not protecting it, what's it doing? It's interfering, it's damaging it now. So its primary function is not doing, it's a dysfunction, right? So y'all get that? Like right now you're at dysfunction even though you don't have a disease diagnosed yet. But what happens is it builds to that, doesn't it? Right? Does that kind of And when I started learning about this stuff, I didn't realize how important it was to take care of this since I was a baby, or like when I was in, like, you know, growing up as a kid, or like, you know, in middle school, high school. I played college football, and I played football for 10 years straight as offensive lineman. I wish I knew then, you know, but it was always till after the fact, you know. That was my story in itself. A lot of you know that. But that's why we take a lot of emphasis on making sure that your spine's in the correct alignment. And we also want to continue to take specific spinal x-rays to continually measure it to the specific degree and focus on correcting it if you're going through correction as patients, or if you're going through maintenance care, right? You know, if you have to like get your teeth straightened and they straighten, what do you need to do? Wear a retainer to maintain it, right? So it doesn't go back. Well, your spine requires the exact same thing, right? I'm preaching to the choir, I know. But like I said, sometimes we need to be reminded of this stuff, including myself, right? Like, I'm not perfect. Neither is Dr. Green, nor is my team. We always have to continue to talk to each other and say, all right, let's stay working on this. Let's also keep looking for the subluxations. Hey, I had a really bad day today. I'm going to get adjusted today because I want to make sure my body's healing better. See how you're thinking there? Changing the way you think with those things too. Now that pressure that I was showing you that y'all even mentioned, is that big long S word called what? Subluxation, yeah, went back the wrong way. Subluxation, right? Kind of a funny term, isn't it? But you see, subluxation doesn't cause just pain in your body, but it also robs your brain from healing wherever it needs to go to. And that's why we place a huge emphasis on making sure that you are free of that type of interference in your life. And this is how we do it, right?
Yeah, our main tool for correcting those subluxations are the chiropractic adjustments. And I think pretty much everyone here is familiar with that picture. That's actually in our office. That's where we correct subluxations.
And many of you have laid on that table.
So adjustments are how we move our spine back into its proper position to allow our nervous system to function like it should. Like Dr. Barker just finished saying, our nervous system controls everything. This proper position, these adjustments, they allow the amazing healing potential to reach every cell, tissue, and organ in our body and allow it to function how it should. So this is always the intent behind our adjustments when we're adjusting you guys. And it really doesn't matter if you're there because you flared up your lower back over the weekend, you know, gardening, or if you're there because your digestive issues are flared up, or if you just know when you get adjusted you feel better. The intent's always to restore proper function, move you towards optimal health. And after our job is over in the office, that's where your homework comes in. This is the other most obvious tool for correcting subluxation. This is something all of us need to be better at, right? Raise your hand if you think you need to be better at your home care.
You see our hands raised too? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I say we're not perfect either.
When we do this every day, that's the way we get the absolute most out of the adjustments in our office.
Right.
So home care is super important.
So who's going to commit to the home care a lot better from here on out? There's also a lady here today. Some of y'all might know who this is right here, Darlene. She wants to share kind of her journey of hope and healing, and she'd like to speak it out to you guys. So welcome to the stage, Darlene. You can come front and center, young lady.
Thank you. We could have done without the picture. Now that I'm here in person, no. I would like to share with you so far my journey at Max Living at Stagecoach Family Chiropractic. I came and started this journey through God's direction, definitely God's direction, and also through my sister who was seeing a chiropractor in Florida. And part of my journey was I was experiencing head, neck, shoulder, arms, legs, lower back, and foot pain. Well, I was a big pain, I guess, for quite some time.
That was good, I like that.
It was not good, it was not comfortable. It was excruciating. It was taking life away from me, energy away from me, drive away from me. So I made an appointment with my primary care doctor who took x-rays, and then I was sent to a vascular specialist, and then later a spine specialist. The remedy was a cervical epidural injection. That sounds daunting in itself, just to say those three words together. I am not one that likes the word surgery or medicine at all. So I told my sister, who I correspond with quite a bit through text mostly, about what was going on. She told her chiropractor what was going on with me, and these were his words: tell her not to get an injection. Tell her to find a chiropractor. I did. After praying for God's guidance on November 18th, 2022, I used a search engine to find a chiropractor. God put Stagecoach Family Chiropractic at the top of that search. I'm here to say praise the Lord. Praise the Lord for that search. Praise the Lord for his direction. I put in my information, and I put in an appointment for Monday. Now, this was on Friday. They're closed on Friday, in case you didn't know that. I put in an appointment for Monday for 9 o'clock. I said, we're going to get some action here. I wasn't quite sure I would get a result right away, but when Caitlin called me on Monday morning, it was going for 9 o'clock, and I said, well, I certainly can't make a 9 o'clock appointment. She said, how about 10? I said, I'll be there. That began my journey. Since that first adjustment, I walked out of the office in less pain. I could move my neck freely, which I was not able to do before. I even planned where I drove and what streets I was at so I wouldn't have to turn my head, because I couldn't, to see the traffic.
I couldn't imagine
I
that.
couldn't turn my head. But that first adjustment fixed that so that I could turn my head. And today, it is much better. Since November, I have been having 3 adjustments a week. I'm down to now 2 adjustments a week. I'm not 100%, but I'm still pursuing this journey that God has me on, that SFC is a part of, that God has planned for me. My first x-rays showed that my neck curve was at 6%, not 45. Not 45.
Right. Yep.
The first x-ray, it was 18. A big improvement for me. No, I'm not 100%, I'm not 45%. And as Dr. Green said, I might not be. I'm 71. Thank the Lord for every day that I have. And I thank the Lord for every degree that will be increased in that curve of my neck. Because today I walk better, I sleep better. My mindset is God is healing me. Yes. So when we get the information, we need to do what James says in the book of James in the Bible. And he says, don't just hear it, do it. Do it.
Nice.
I'm guilty of not doing my 100% home care. I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better.
That's why she's here, right?
But that's what we have to do. We have to do better. So I thank God for directing me to the right place for me. I think some of you can give the same testimony. God's directed you to the right place for you. And God is healing us from the inside out, and now we have to do some of the other hard part. It doesn't have to be hard. It can become easier. The more we do it, the better we get. But I do want to personally thank the team again from Stagecoach Family Chiropractic, Dr. Barker, Dr. Green, Caitlin, Lisa, Katie. They're all a part of helping on this journey to better health. Through the 5 essentials of max living, you've already heard it, the chiropractic core, that adjustment, go. Keep your appointments. Don't be slouching that, go. Nutrition, Yeah, that's an area I need to do better in. Eat better, eat cleaner. Mindset, I do have that mindset. I know I'm getting better because God is working from the inside out. Oxygen and exercise, I'm not doing great in the exercise area. I'm going to improve on that this coming few weeks, next days or two, maybe, whatever. I'll get there. And minimizing toxins, that's a big one. That's a big one. We're so used to this society, what they've given us, what they've fed us over the years, that's, oh, eat this, it's good for you. Well, read the ingredients, you'll find out it's not good for you. The journey continues. Are you ready to continue yours or to start yours? We belong to God. Our body is His temple. We need to be putting the right things in and honoring and glorifying Him.
Wow, you want to do the rest of the seminar? Oh, you don't need us.
We have the wrong speakers up here, I think.
Wrong speaker. I love it.
You doctors have been replaced.
Yeah, we're replaced now, yeah. So y'all notice we've been training up somebody else under our wing, you know. So, yeah. Wow, cool stuff. Well, you know, some of you out there could be thinking like, you know, well, that was Darlene's issues and her story. Well, like, what about mine? You know, what about my issues? Well, the good news is your body is giving you warning signs, right? So it's like the check engine lights on in the car, and it's time to stop putting the piece of black tape over the check engine light and keeping on driving, right? It's time to get these things checked out if you hadn't got them checked out yet. So if you look on the screen here, these are all considered warning signs of neurological dysfunction. Right? And this is where medicine, when they look at this, they look at you as a label or identity, right? You're being labeled with X, Y, and Z and say, here is your solution is this, right here, right? When we don't look at it, we don't view that at all as labels or identities. These are all signs of neurological dysfunction that we have to get to the root cause of, right? And the first place we need to start is by checking the nervous system in doing so. And people ask me all the time, you know, about, you know, some of these issues up here. You know, headaches, top bone in the neck, C1, that protects your brainstem. And your brainstem is what connects your brain to the rest of the body, right? So when you have headaches, it doesn't mean you have ibuprofen deficiency, right? Doesn't mean that. When you have high blood pressure, like, guess what? They did a study years ago on two blood pressure medications versus chiropractic adjustments to the C1 bone, the atlas, the top bone. And they found that the chiropractic adjustments actually lowered the blood pressure numbers better than the two medications combined. And that's lisinopril and HCTZ, right? Which is cool stuff. Even things up there like, your mindset, like your depression, anxiety, and your sleep patterns and your mood. There's neurotransmitters that come out of your brainstem. If there's subluxation there at C1, it can cause those neurotransmitters to lower, and all of a sudden you get mood disorders, you get sleeping disorders, you get depression, anxiety, and things like that. All because of neurological dysfunction, not because, oh, it's just all in your head, right? When you have subluxation in the neck area, a lot of times that can send pain away from the body, right? So if you have that arm pain that goes down into your hands, or even like that nasty pain that goes down into your feet, that's a late sign of nerve damage. It's not early, that's late. Like, that means we've had some type of neurological dysfunction for a long time, and you could have known it, right? You felt it, but you just kind of pushed it off and waited, right? But that means it's been there for a while, but a lot of times we find out that it's a subluxation either in the lower neck or the lower back because those nerves originate there. Does that make sense? And usually if we catch it early enough, it's fixable. But if it's way far gone, too degenerated, or like there's bone on bone, too late, right? But there's still, like, I never tell a patient too late. I've never told a patient there's too late to take care of your nervous system. Because guess what? There's other areas of your nervous system that needs work too, right? And what's so cool is this, and some of you have even experienced this, when you have like a nasty low back, degeneration, we can't really move much bones down there, and like you're having like nasty leg pains or whatever it is, sciatica, just by correcting this curve, the arc in your neck, and also working with the top bone, can actually help this area out. How can that happen? It's all connected, right? If you free the nervous system up here so your brain can get down here a lot better, guess what? You're better. You may have limitations to matter, but you're better, right? Even things like, reflux. I mean, come on, like, what are you told to take for reflux? Purple pill, Prilosec, some type of like acid reflux medications, right? When it's so funny that like when we take those things and all of a sudden if it's like not working very well, we go back and see our doctor and they say, okay, what are we going to do? We have two choices. We can up the dosage or do what? Before that, give you something stronger, right? Oh, this is a new drug. It's going to be a lot stronger. Let's try that for a little while. Or let's add another one onto it to where you have multiple medications for one condition. Very common, right? But then last stage is like, let's just cut the organ out because it's not working. As if like God put a gallbladder inside of you and said, this doesn't work. You might as well take it out, right? God put that in there for a reason, right? Everything that's in your body is for a reason. So keep it in there. But we also got to find the cause of why it's happening, right? And that's why, I love what we do in as far as like in the natural healthcare world, because it's like, do all things natural. Like your body's so amazing. Like it can live 80 to 120 years of amazing, abundant life, but we have so much interference that we have to remove the interference, right? Not try to take something from the outside and put it inside the body that's toxic to try to create the health. Health is already in you. We just got to release it to its optimal potential. Same thing goes with your metabolism. We have to release the optimal metabolism that's inside of you, and that's by, first of all, working with the nervous system, right? So if you're out there and you've never had your nervous system checked, those of you that are not current patients, there's a few of you out there, you should have this little green sheet right here. So if you have this green sheet, this is your opportunity to get things done. And what I provided up here is 2 ways to check for subluxation. So some of you have actually a lot of you have done this already, right? When you came in, you got your x-rays done, you've done the nerve scan analysis. It's called an SCMG. So it checks for heat readings and positive readings of neurological dysfunction in the nervous system. And it can actually pinpoint what areas we need to take x-rays of your spine. And then when we take the spine, we do the specific measurements, and you can see right up there, those are actually my x-rays, if you can see them. It's kind of hard to see it from way up there, but that's my low back, that's my neck, and it did not used to look like that before. That's just a lot of hard work to get it to there and keep it maintained there. But those are like what we take to specifically measure the subluxations, and then we put together a specific care plan to correct that, right? And a lot of you are actually on those specific care plans as we speak, and also maintaining your spines on a maintenance plan, right? So that's what we have to do first, is get the evaluation done. And what I've done for the evaluation is I've discounted it too. So if you do have that green sheet, it's very easy to fill out. You'll see where it says health survey. It's a quick little health survey, and it has a list of all the symptoms on there. So what you do is you check the symptoms off that you're experiencing and be honest with yourself. Right, this is your assessment of your health, right? So you check that off. You answer those questions right down there in the middle, and then there's a box where it says you can schedule your evaluation in the office. And typically they do cost up to $150 for all the testing and the x-rays and the SCMG scan and things like that. But what we've done is we've actually waived the fees down to where it's just $29. You can see it right there laid out. $29 will cover your exam and your nerve scan. And then if we need to take x-rays, which more than likely we probably would if we do find positive readings of subluxation, x-rays would be at most $77 for that. As you can see, it's $39 per set. But if we do take all the x-rays, it's top and bottom, which would be $77, okay? If you want to get that testing done, Dr. Green or myself will be out there in the lobby to help you get a time scheduled in the office. And what we do is to reserve your spot, we go ahead and collect the $29 to reserve that appointment time. Because we know how important it is. It's a very busy office. We want to make sure that we allow that time for you guys, and also that you're committed to it as well. So if you wanted to do that, you just take a green sheet to one of us and we'll help you do that, okay? All right, let's move on. Step 2.
Yeah, step 2 is clean whole food nutrition. Go ahead and go to the next slide, Doc. So first we're going to talk more about fat, if we haven't talked about that enough already. So eating fat is not what makes us fat. That's one of those damaging lies we see in healthcare. I think it's the worst thing that's happened with nutrition recommendations probably ever. It's not fat that makes us fat. In the SAD diet, what makes us fat, what makes us gain weight is the combination of massive amounts of simple carbohydrates and that inflammation, and then paired with unhealthy fats. So actually, good fat is one of the is the macronutrient that most of us are most deficient in. So fat is vital for every aspect of our metabolism. It helps our brain and our nervous system function. It allows for hormones to be produced. So we really should try to make a habit of getting good, healthy fat in our diet at every single meal. So when we talk about fats, there's two main categories: inflammatory and anti-inflammatory. So a few examples of some anti-inflammatory fats are avocado and avocado oil, coconut oil. It's in wild-caught fish like salmon, grass-fed beef, extra virgin olive oil, nuts, seeds. There's a lot more, but that's a small example. So the inflammatory oils, it's anything labeled vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean oil, and then there's also a big category that we would just call kind of sneaky inflammatory oils. So these are the inflammatory oils that are hidden in basically every bread, cookie, cracker, all processed foods. But when I really get into it and really think of what would I define as a sneaky bad oil, I think of things that most of us think are healthy, but actually aren't. So that's things like margarine. There's big marketing campaigns that fake butter is better than real butter because of whatever they say. But the oil in the good grass-fed butter is good for you, and margarine is not. Farm-raised salmon. So when salmon goes from being wild-caught to farm-raised, it goes from being highly anti-inflammatory and really, really good for us to really bad for us and highly inflammatory. So those are sneaky oils. And then maybe the biggest kind of category of a sneaky inflammatory oil is something that so many of us do, and we think we're doing something good for ourselves, and that's cooking with an oil that begins as healthy. So we cook with not avocado oil, we cook with extra virgin olive oil, or we cook at high temperatures with butter. That takes a good healthy oil and destroys it and makes it inflammatory. It denatures it. It makes it so it damages our cells. It makes it so it damages our DNA. So we really don't want to be doing that. It makes it highly inflammatory to our body. So since I alluded to cooking, the only oils I would recommend cooking with are avocado oil and coconut oil. Anything else, any of the other good oils, become bad oils when they're heated up too much.
And I want to speak on the importance of the macronutrient protein, because some of the most recent research in science is saying that most Americans are undernourished when it comes to protein, believe it or not. Many Americans are also consuming way too much highly processed denatured protein, which is why eating and supplementing with quality protein is the utmost importance. So I want to start with actually the type of protein that we eat, and that's the one thing that we need to change first. If you wanted to make a quick change when it comes to your nutrition, and I did this a long time ago as my first one as well, and many of you have probably done this too, is changing the way you eat your meats, if you do eat meat. And that's your beef, chicken, and turkey, and also eggs. It's the first place to start because of the way the animal is being treated and also being fed on a regular basis. Because you are what you ate. Try to say that 10 times fast. Cows are made to eat grass, right? That's its natural food, eat grass. But most cows in this country are being fed grains. They're injected with antibiotics and hormones, and also being fed things like processed chocolate and thrown away Mexican food. So eating conventionally raised meats will increase also that I word, chronic inflammation in your body, and it causes a lot of metabolic disease processes to start in the body too because of that. Now, I put the word chronic in there because there is healthy inflammation in the body too, right? But that's called acute, like an injury or something like that. But when it comes to chronic, that's where it becomes dangerous. So the best way to get around this is to choose 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef, organic chicken. I was about to say orange chicken. Organic turkey, and also our eggs, right? So people ask, what's better, free range, pasture raised, cage free? Which one is the best one to do there? I feel that free range is the best, and it's probably hard to find nowadays, but the free range is the best because chickens can display their natural behaviors when they're freely roaming around in their habitats, right? Just like, think about like, salmon when they swim in their natural waters, specific waters, wild caught, right? But if you buy it from a farmer that's farm raised, that's taking them out of their normal behavior and natural habitat. So it's like they can't behave well, so they're not going to develop well, which means if they're underdeveloped and more toxic, guess what you eat? You eat that, right? Does that make sense? So choose free range eggs for your eggs. Now when it comes to our protein powders, this is one of the biggest, probably one of the longest things that's been researched for a while when it comes to like a supplement, like this, a powder, is like, what's the best protein powder for me to take, from my workouts or from my daily basis or whatever it is. Actually, let me ask you guys this. Out of the 3 macronutrients, out of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, which one do you think is the most important when it comes to your overall metabolism? Protein, right? Right? The proteins. So that's why we got to make sure that we have a very good quality protein that we're ingesting, every day. I mean, I do a protein powder pretty much every day. Myself, I've been doing it for a long time now. But here's the problem with our protein powders, and it's still a problem. I thought it was like done away, but now it's still a problem. Is that the ones that are processed, they're heated to very high temperatures, meaning they become denatured. If you denature a protein, it's not real protein. It's a chemical toxin for your body, basically. A lot of them have added sugars and chemicals to make it taste better. If you look in the ingredients, you'll see a lot of things you can't pronounce, or it has a number to it or something like that. Yellow 9, blue 6. Which overall it decreases the quality of the protein. So really what I'm saying is it's all about the quality. So say quality. Now what I like about our protein here, and I've been using this for a long time now, and a lot of you use this as well. What I like about it is that this is also made from bone broth, which is anti-inflammatory. Bone broth is very good for not only just your metabolism, but also for your joints, for your spine, for your disc spaces, and keeping things low in inflammation too. So tastes great also. And sweetened with things like stevia, but it's not any bad ingredients, and it's all certified organic as well. So and that's what you want. You want quality. You don't want to put more toxins in your body when you think it's not. Now, what I also like about our products in general is that it's the Pure Path standard. So Max Living has really gotten really clear cut with this recently. Is that the Pure Path brand is like some of the purest and rawest materials that they can find that's in its natural state they use for the supplements. I mean, nowadays you can, like when you order your stuff from Amazon, for example, there's people that can actually say, hey, I'm going to make my own supplements out of my garage and sell them on Amazon. And you buy them and you eat them. And you think it's truth, right? We see anybody nowadays can do it because there's very low regulations. The FDA has very little regulation on supplements and nutrients, so anybody can make them, right? So it's all about who you trust and also the brand that you trust too when it comes to what you're buying, right? The Pure Path standard is also they're certified organic, it's also non-GMO, and it's also gluten-free. Formulated and packaged in the US, not some other country too. So it didn't have to travel so far to get here. And to me, the proof's in the pudding. Like Dr. Green, myself, my team, my family, a lot of you have trusted this brand for a while now, and you're taking a lot more supplements than just not just the protein, but they get results. And what I do is I do 1 scoop in my morning smoothie every morning. So this morning before coming here, I did that. When I was making my smoothie, that was my powder. It was my protein powder. It was that one right there you see on the screen. And I pretty much do that 5 to 7 days a week. the days that I don't do it, I'll do I'll make I'll make eggs and something like that. I'll make something that's different than just a smoothie, because sometimes I am a creature of habit, but sometimes it's good to change stuff up too, right? That's okay. I was pressing the wrong button there. There we go.
All right.
I was laser tagging somebody. Go ahead.
All right, so when we think about weight loss, is it really as simple as calories in versus calories out? It's not as easy as you think. It's sort of yes, it's sort of no. I think obviously if you starve yourself, you're going to lose weight, right? But what happens to that weight as soon as you go back to eating, or you get off that crash diet? You gain the weight back, right? So simple arithmetic as far as long-term healthy weight loss, long-term healthy weight management, we need to think of something other than just the math problem of it, right? So what we would argue through Max Living and in our office is that quality is what matters more than quantity. So we know that good whole food-based nutrition always helps improve our metabolic health. It always helps us move towards our ideal weight. This is just what we're designed to do. When we have good, healthy nutrition, we move towards a healthy weight. So the premise of this, I think, is really simple. If you focus on getting good whole food nutrition from the best sources possible, we call it food by God within Max Living. So just food that's not been altered and processed. Then you'll be unlikely to overeat because your nutritional needs are actually being met when you eat food. So just if we think about it, what would fill us up more? A Twinkie that's 260 calories of chemicals, sugars, dyes, or that same 260 calories of a raw almonds, and that's got good fats, proteins, B vitamins, vitamin E, and magnesium. The almonds fill us up, right? The almonds meet our nutritional needs, not the Twinkie. So we're not going to overeat when we eat good, healthy foods because our body's needs are being met. So when we talk about quality over quantity, in practice, what this is to us is the advanced plan. We call it the advanced plan in our office. So this is essentially, it's a clean version of the ketogenic diet.
Raise your hand if you've done this plan before already. So a few of you? Okay, yeah.
So on the advanced plan, we focus on getting the right amounts of high quality protein and fats, like the two of us already went over. So that's the protein and fat content of the advanced plan. So we haven't really gone over carbs yet, other than that they're really bad for us. So this is the biggest change when it comes to going to the advanced plan from the SAD diet, because that one's just defined by processed carbs and sugar. So on the advanced plan, vegetables are going to be our focus for carbohydrates. We're going to eliminate all wheat, rice, and grains. It's eliminating any processed foods because they're pretty much all going to have sugar or grains in them. And we even have to moderate our fruit intake. Most fruit has a whole bunch of sugar in it, even if it's sugars that are not as bad for us. So the only fruits we're going to have are berries. So that's any of the berries. Limes, lemons, and grapefruit. And it's Granny Smith apples. All the other apples, again, just have too much sugar in them. So if you haven't done the advanced plan, that sounds kind of arduous. That sounds kind of difficult. Maybe I lost you there. So the good news, the advanced plan works really best when we're trying to have a very impactful short-term change. We're trying to lose a bunch of weight. We're trying to work on correcting disease. So it works really best even as like a short-term process as well. So at the end of today, we're going to talk about our Kickstart Your Metabolism Challenge. So it works perfect with that as well. So even with the focus of vegetables as our carbohydrates in the advanced plan, sometimes we still even struggle to meet our needs as far as vegetables. So that's where Max Greens comes in. So this is a easy to use powder. It can be just stirred into water. It can be used in smoothies or yogurt. 1 full scoop contains 2 servings of organic vegetables, 1 serving of organic fruit. When broken down, it's 35 different vegetables, fruits, mushrooms, adaptogenic herbs, probiotics, and enzymes. So I can't really think of any other place where 1 little scoop of a powder can get me that many superfood nutrients that are vital for my health. So this one also doesn't contain anything that we need to really worry about. Most greens powders are going to have some sort of sweetener. Usually it's going to be an artificial sweetener that's somehow toxic to our body. This one's sweetened with stevia. So I use this berry flavor in the office almost every day in my water bottle. I
use chocolate.
I put some electrolytes powder or electrolytes drops in it as well. And in my head, it's just like it's an actually good for you Gatorade. Helps me focus with those herbs and everything. So Max Greens, you guys should check them out.
All right, step number 3. Let's talk about a few things here with this, how to minimize toxins and detox. What I wanted to focus on the most here is your hydration. Just one thing, hydration here. And also when it comes to detox, I want to show you how you can safely detox your body periodically throughout the year. Now, plain and simple, the more toxins we accumulate in our bodies, the more our fat cells will grab them and store them in your body. It's like when you accumulate toxins, like think of your body as like a toxic bucket. If it starts to overflow more and more and becomes overflowing, then like your fat cells have to grab those toxins to store them. That's why the more toxic, that's why like whenever you're like wanting to lose weight, you're also very severely toxic too at the same time. So we got to detox your body at the same time along with, you know, eating the correct nutrition and also a couple other things that we'll talk about in a second too. Now we all know that our water supply is very toxic, right? I hope we know that by now. Like our tap water, right? So we have no choice but to drink pure filtered water. Now this is one of the most important daily habits in our health. Say daily habits. They can easily be neglected, right? Or it's not paid enough attention to because, you know, we just don't drink enough water. Doc, I drink water. Well, do you drink enough? Probably not, right? When we pry into it. So a lot of times I'll ask people like, you know, how much water do you drink and, you know, what do you consume in a day as far as your liquids? And it blows my mind some of the answers you guys give me as well. So it's like we just hang there for a while to fix that, you know, as a first thing. But to have the best, healthiest metabolism possible, the liquid that you should be consuming on a daily basis is what? Water. Our body's also made of 70% water, so we got to make sure we're consuming mostly that too. So here's the goal, is to get half your weight in fluid ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, how many fluid ounces a day should you do? Who can do the math there? 100, there you go. Now, last year I decided to go with a whole house filtration system called Aquasana. Now, I only did it because, my wife and I, we saved up enough in order to buy a whole house filtration because we wanted to make sure we had good drinking water or some of the purest drinking water we can. It's like very easy to get to no matter where we're at in the house. Also shower with it and also brush our teeth with it, etc. Like wash our hands with it. So we want to make sure it's like very good clean water. Now, I don't recommend today going out here and buying a whole house filtration unless you just have the money for it or you budget for it. But definitely it's one thing that's like in the future that you should do for your home or your forever home, if you want to call it that too. But most of us would be best to find a filtration like container in a store. There's so many ones you can find. You can find them actually on Amazon, things like that. But you want to make sure you're at least drinking pure filtered water every single day, not tap water, obviously. Now, a lot of people ask me a lot of times, what does detox really have to do with metabolism in general? As you burn more fat, your body will release more toxins. So if you put in more toxins, then there's a way we can burn it out too. Does that make sense? If you don't safely eliminate them from your body, they can recirculate and build up elsewhere or back where they came from. According to the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians, belly fat isn't hormone-induced or even age-induced. It is the fat produced to protect us from the toxins we accumulate as we age. And I just said that a while ago too. But I'm confirming that from an organization too. So the presence of toxins can reprogram your DNA to change our biochemistry to produce fat in your body. Which means on the flip side, the elimination of toxins can also drive DNA reprogramming back to normal and away from fat production. Now what I like about our detox system, sorry, I didn't even, there you go. What I like about our detox system, and I've been using this for a while, and some of you have been using this for a while too, to me this is the easiest way to detox your body, like hands down. Like I used to detox my body when I was learning about this in chiropractic college and all this, and doing the master cleanse and doing all these things and doing nothing but like drinking cayenne pepper and like water and whatever else for like 30 or 40 days or something stupid like that, you know. But like this, to me, this is the easiest way to do it right here, and it's the most safest way to do it, and the most gentle way to do it as well. Because a lot of times when you think detox, you think it's got to be intense. It doesn't have to be, right? Unless you're going through some like major, you know, like if you're doing some natural cancer protocols and things like that, or even like natural things to get rid of anti-inflammatory diseases, then those require a little more intense stuff. But this is more general for just all of us, right? So what I like about this one is that this detoxes your body on a cellular level. Going back to cellular metabolism, when I was talking about that earlier, about what metabolism is, you got to make sure you get it on a cellular level, not on just an organ level, okay? One of the only systems I know that does that is this detox system so far. There's two parts to it. There's a cell detox that you do in the morning, then there's a body detox that you do at night before you go to bed. It's, like I said, it's super easy to use, and you can also tell a difference within days if you do it for the first time too. You'll notice you'll have more energy. You'll start seeing some, like, you know, more toxins released in the toilet, etc. There's no other way to say that, you know, no other way to say it.
And that's very important.
Yes, it is. Make sure you check your poop too. As a previous workshop, check your poop too. I would take the cell detox about an hour after my morning smoothie is when I would take it on an empty stomach. And then the body detox, I take about 30 minutes or like right at bedtime on an empty stomach. And I do that for the entire month. So it's a month supply you do. And people ask me all the time, how often do you do that? Well, I do it 4 times a year. And I recommend this for you as well to do as well. Do one in January, do one in April. So every 3 months you do it. Then July, and then in October, 4 times a year. Almost like the 4 seasons of the year. Keep it that simple, okay? I always forget which button to press on here. Anyway.
All right, so step 4 is moving our body, exercising. So to be healthy, we have to move. Our bodies are designed to move. We're not designed to be sedentary. And as our society as a whole becomes more and more sedentary, it's more and more vital for us to be intentional about how we move, whether it's through our lifestyle, just being more active, walking more, walking up the stairs, or dedicated exercise. We have to move to be healthy. And when we talk about moving our bodies or exercising, one of the most obvious benefits of it is that it builds muscle in our body.
Yeah.
So like we've gone over, this is vital for having a healthy metabolism. Dr. Barker taught us about our BMR, our basal metabolic rate. To raise our BMR, to raise our idle, we must build muscle, and we must lose fat. So that increases the amount of metabolically active tissue and decreases the amount of metabolically inactive tissue. And muscle is a lot more metabolically active than fat. Based on current metabolic research, muscle burns 3 times as many calories per day as the same amount of fat. So it's way more active. So to build muscle and decrease fat, we want to use the most efficient form of exercise we can. So based on current data, this is something that researchers call metabolic conditioning. So probably a word you guys haven't heard too often. Really what that is HIIT training. It's max T3. That's metabolic conditioning. So that's exercise designed to improve the efficiency of our metabolic pathways. In a nutshell, what it does is it increases our body's efficiency of energy production and energy use. So this increased efficiency in our metabolism shows up all over the place in a whole bunch of different ways. So it increases our BMR for at least 14 hours following exercise. So that means our engine is revved up for most of the day after we do a HIIT session. It helps us sleep, it helps our mood, it helps balance our hormones, it increases our energy levels. And the idea of HIIT training is pretty simple. You can really work it into basically any sort of exercise. It's short bursts of high intensity movement followed by a period of recovery. So the working part of these workouts, they have to be hard. It's the H in HIIT is high, so it's high intensity. So they have to be hard to achieve the desired results. So this work, it stimulates our heart, our lungs, our muscles, at least a little bit past what they can currently do at a comfortable level. And when this is done regularly, it forces our body to grow. It's kind of how we grow through anything. We kind of force beyond our comfort zone, and then we adapt, we overcome, we get better. So I would consider this principle of metabolic conditioning to be the highest quality form of exercise you guys can do.
And overall, it's consistency over quality. So write that down right there. Definitely have to write it down right there. Consistency over quality. The whole point, especially when you start a new exercise program, or like you've been away from it and you're going back to it, or like you've been doing it for a while and you want to up the ante a little bit. The whole thing about doing something for 30 days, for example, for like we're hitting the 30-day challenge, obviously, is that you just want to develop the habits. Say, develop the habit. And it's just not about being perfect. It's like, just start. Like a lot of us think so much about like, oh, I gotta have this plan. I gotta make sure this is set in place. And we analyze stuff way too much. And it's like time's gone, like a month's gone by. And it's like we haven't done anything. I used to be like that sometimes. And the exercise, it does not have to be 6 to 7 days a week. And it doesn't have to be high intensity, short duration all the time. And it doesn't always have to be super extreme. Just move your body in some way, even if it's just walking for 15 to 30 minutes after your lunch break, right? That's you checking the box of like, I'm developing the habit. But then here's the cool thing though, is that we're training the habits, during the 30 days in the challenge. But you'll notice throughout the 30 days, the quality will come. You'll begin to notice that you can do better with different types of exercise. You'll be able to level up, so to speak. But we have to first focus on being what? Consistent. Yes. Now, sometimes when we start a consistent exercise routine, we do need some added help to get with certain nutrients to get us get us started as well. So we put together this thing called Metabolic Burn, and this is for those of you that if you want to kickstart weight loss, or if you just you just want to optimize your results to get things moving and started for your metabolism, as well as you're working out, moving your bodies, walking, wherever it is. It's loaded full of adaptogenic herbs. Now, the word adaptogenic means that your body adapts to it, right? Which is so cool. It's a cool thing that's been around nowadays, these herbs. And it's going to help boost and promote healthy metabolism. And it's also going to help fight food cravings, because sometimes we fight that problem too as well. And also balance out hormones that promote fat loss. So going back to leptin and ghrelin, it helps to balance those two hormones, which are important for your metabolism, okay? Gosh, speaking of all this fat loss, Dr. Green, I think it's time for us to move our bodies. What do y'all say, huh? Who's ready to move your bodies? I think I'm ready. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I want everybody to stand up. Make sure you have room enough that you're not gonna hit somebody next to you. I think we're good on that. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a quick demo of a Max T3 workout. So on Saturdays, we actually do this. You actually get to work out with us on a Saturday as well. And some of you actually are avid showers for that too, which is very cool. But what I want to do is I want you to get a prime example of how this looks for you specifically. So we're going to do burpees. We're going to do what? No, I'm kidding. I'm going to pick just 3 different movements, and I'll demo them before we do it. And we're going to utilize what's called the Tabata method. It's 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. All right? So we're going to do that for the first exercise, then we'll do it for the second one, and then do it for the third one. Okay? So if you do the math there, we're only going to end up working out for how long? 1 minute. You can do anything for 1 minute, right? Including burpees. We're not doing burpees, I'm sorry. See, we can't do them right here, Doc, because there's a pew in front of me. So here's what we're going to do first. The first thing we're going to do is called push press. So we're going to take our arms like this right here, and what you're going to do is you're going to press them up as fast as you can like this. And you can use your legs with it too, like a small little leg bend like this, right? Press them up as fast as you can for 20 seconds. That's the first one. The second one is going to be called foot fires. So you're going to just chop your feet like this. Right here, you're going to chop your feet. Okay? Whew, I'm already burning already after that by just 5 seconds. Foot fires. Hint, hint. Then the last one, we're going to bring it together and do what's called running in place with a hammer curl to shoulder press. So this will be our third one right here for 20 seconds. All right? Everybody got it? Very simple movements. Anybody can do them. Very effective for just 20 seconds, okay? So we're going to do like a nice little timer here as well. Little eye of the tiger. Huh? Who's ready? Everybody get ready. So
welcome to Tabata.
I'm going to crank up the music a little bit.
Are you ready?
First one, push press. Get ready.
3, 2, 1.
All right, go. 20 seconds. Yeah. Bring some power into it with your legs. There you go. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. If I continue this, I won't be able to talk after this. Come on, 20 seconds, you can do it. Come on, come on. You got it.
3, 2,
and
1.
Rest, stop. Second one, foot fires. We're going to amp up the energy a little bit. So you're going to chop those feet, okay? But not yet. Hang on a second.
4,
Wait.
3, 2, 1.
Go. Chop those feet. Chop them, chop them, chop them. Do a little circle. Do a circle. Come on, do a circle. Go the other way. Make balance. Let's go, let's go. Almost there, almost there. And relax. Great job. One left. Rest, rest, rest. Remember, it's going to be a run in place, hammer curl, shoulder press. Press. Go. Put it all together. Come on, reach for the sky. Chop those feet faster. You can do anything for just 20 seconds. Including this. Anything for 20. Come on. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Almost there, come on. And stop. All right, get ready. Here's a surprise, surprise. Right, ready? 10 seconds. Now we're going to do burpees. Okay, so make sure you get plenty of room. Go ahead and come out. Come on, we only have 3 seconds left. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, never mind, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Great job. Give yourself a hand.
So I think you planned this, so I always have to talk after the workout.
Oh yeah, you better believe it.
All right.
That was fun. Isn't it cool that you can just do that 1 minute and like we're like I can't even talk right now, right?
All right. So Metabolism bundle. We've developed this bundle for you guys, really so it can just help transform your metabolic health. So this includes a 1 month supply of all the supplements we've gone through in the presentation so far. So it's Metabolics Burn, it's Pure Path Protein, it's Max Greens, and it's the Detox System. It's a 30-day supply of all of those. So as we've gone over already, the items in this bundle will decrease our toxic load. It will help provide healthy protein that so many of us are missing. It will ensure we're getting all of our vegetables in each day. And it will boost our boost our metabolism with adaptogenic herbs and minerals. So really, it'll help transform and kickstart your metabolism with this bundle. Now, the instructions to take this end up being pretty simple. So the best way is to do a smoothie for breakfast. That gets the Pure Path Protein and the Max Greens done. 30 minutes later, 30 minutes to an hour, you take the first set of supplements from the detox system. So that's 2 capsules of that. With Metabolics Burn, you're supposed to take 4 capsules each day. So the ideal scenario is to take 2 with one meal and then 2 with another meal. I know I'm someone who's prone to forget things, so you could just take all 4 at one meal as well. There's no reason not to do that. Supplements don't do any good sitting in the bottle, so we got to make sure we take them. The last part of the detox system.
You're laughing because it's true.
The last part of the detox system we want to take at night before we go to bed, and that should be away from any other supplements because it kind of absorbs stuff. So we want to not take that with other things. So we want to give you guys immediate access to these resources so you can really start to take action right away. You know, we don't want to just wait. So all of you guys should have this product sheet in your handouts. So go ahead and pull that out.
Now, some of you have asked for us to make this a lot bigger, so we did it for you. Here it is.
Yes.
It used to be way smaller than this. It used to be like a little quarter sheet. Now it's like a sheet.
Big, easy to read. All right, so when we look at this sheet, the top of the sheet has that Metabolism bundle. You'll see all the ingredients, and it's 15% off the normal price if you were to buy it in our office normally, not in the bundle. Below are all of our other Max Living supplements, and today for the event, we're discounting those as well. Those are 10% off. And the best part of what we try to do for you guys at these big events is if you buy 6 items, the whole order becomes 20% off. So all that is if you got the Metabolism bundle and then you needed 2 different vitamin Ds, that's your 6 items, and the whole group becomes 20% off. So we want to be able to give you guys the best stuff possible, you know, at the best price we can offer it. So the sheet ends up being pretty easy to fill out. All the way on the right is going to be quantity. So if you did want the 1 Metabolism bundle, put a 1 there. And then if you did want the 2 vitamin D, you put a 2 there. So that way we know, you know, how many you want. And then before you get to the product table out there, make sure it's filled out, and then it'll help the process go as fast as we can. All makes sense, right? Everybody with me?
We're all about simplicity. Who likes that? I do too. All right, our last step, our last and final step, leverage your stress. Take it away, DG.
Yeah, so leveraging our stress. And the reason we chose leveraging our stress is because we want to focus on leveraging it and not reducing or eliminating it, is because for the most part, we don't really have a whole lot of control over the circumstances that happen to us. So those circumstances that cause stress for people, it can be anything. It can be our boss, traffic getting here, the weather, our spouse. So these are things that so many of us complain about every day. You know, my boss is stressing me out. They did this, this, or that. But the truth is, really, that's kind of it's a lie we almost tell ourselves as a comfort. It's not your boss that's stressing you out. It's your reaction to your boss doing whatever he's doing.
For sure.
We can always making me talk right after the workout. So we always can control how we respond. So I like, if we think about this even just a different way, we can just think of what the definition of stress is. And stress is simply how our body and mind responds to a perceived stressor. And even within that definition, we see control over the situation, right? Our perception of that stressor is what determines if we're stressed out. So knowing this and truly kind of undergoing that mindset shift, that's vital to leveraging our stress. So you must know and truly believe that you control your stress levels, not your circumstances. You always control your reaction. And if you don't embrace this idea, eventually stress begins to overwhelm us. And when we're overwhelmed by any stress, our body produces a hormone named cortisol. It's literally the stress hormone. So when we think about cortisol, the easiest way to think about it, or the easiest way to remember what it does, is to think about what happens to our body in a true life or death situation. You know, something like if a bear busts in the back of the church right now, what happens to our bodies? So our cortisol increases our heart rate. It directs blood to our muscles and away from our organs. It increases our breathing rate. It dilates our pupils so we're able to see better. But it also shuts down our digestion, our immune system, and redirects all possible energy away from long-term healing and repair and towards the muscles. So these changes make sense, right? We need to survive this moment right now, or none of that other stuff matters, right? So it's our body, like always, doing the exact right thing at the exact right time. But there's bad news with stress and with cortisol as well. Our body responds to the potential bear attack and our jerk of a boss the same exact way. Not him. I don't have a jerk boss.
Everybody's like, did he just say boss? I'm not your boss.
So that means when we're chronically stressed out, our digestion, our immune system, our sleep, and our overall healing falls to the wayside. So it's compromised. So we must all remember that we have final say in how we respond to stress. So we don't need to treat every minor inconvenience we face every day like a bear attack. So another extremely effective way to focus away from stress, to leverage our stress, is to focus on building peace within our life.
That's right. And the bell, I mean, and the was that a bell ring too? Yeah. It's healthy peace management techniques. So, I utilize this a whole lot, and a lot of people do as well. So what this is are techniques that can help you find peace in those stressful situations. And when you feel like that it's going to happen that day or it's already happened, these are things you can do to help build the peace. But I would say do this as proactiveness instead of waiting until the stressful situation happens, because it's very difficult to get out of it too, or it's more difficult to get out of it. So what does that look like for you? Well, it could be just taking a mindful walk with your spouse, or even by yourself in nature. It could be journaling. It could be doing a gratitude talk. It can be going outside in the sunshine, not today, but like another day. But spending time with loved ones. They're all wonderful ways to promote peace management. They're all considered techniques that you can do. Think about what works best for you and put it into action. That way you can leverage your stress. There's that word again. Say leverage. Leverage. So some personal things that I love doing is, my wife and I, and also my 15-month-old Laura, we take walks together, and that's usually what helps build peace in my life as we do that together. I also listen to inspirational podcasts. That's another way to do it too. Spiritual triathlon. So what I'll do is I'll spend 5 minutes just in silence, getting rid of all the clutter, and then 5 minutes of prayer, and then 5 minutes of Bible reading. Call it my spiritual triathlon. That's one way to do it too. You don't have to do all three of those. You can just do one of those, and that's your peaceful technique. Whatever it is best for you. Also, I do what's called reframing the mind with box breathing. So what I'll do is it's more of a like a Navy SEAL military technique is what I've learned it from years ago, and they do this whenever it's they have to embrace the suck is what they call it. But it's you basically sit there quiet, think about nothing but something positive. If something negative comes in, you just you push it away. And what you're doing is you're concentrating more on your breathing. So it's basically taking your focus to being centered to you and nothing else outside of you. So you take a deep breath in for 5 seconds, and then hold that breath for 5 seconds, and then release it for 5 seconds, and then hold it breath out for 5 seconds. It's like making a box. That's why I call it box breathing. There's many ways you can do that. You can do different. You can try to go 8 seconds, 10 seconds. Well, I don't recommend it because it's very difficult. They call it the prana technique. But you want to do that to help as you're doing it. See if you can go as long as 5 minutes at that cadence without thinking about anything else other than just your breath. If you can do that, you're reframing your mind and getting ready for okay, what's next is I'm going to declare victory over my day. That's a good way to do it too. That's a peaceful way to get rid of the stress. And also another thing too is also writing out what you're thankful for. gratitude, or even like just speaking it out to your spouse or to yourself, or just out to God, just speaking out, right? I always say, years ago when I was, my wife and I, we lived in Naples and we were doing our training, we had a pastor to one of his sermons. He said one of our takeaways from his sermon was to pray out loud. And my wife and I were we've never done that before. So we started praying out loud on our drive going to our area that we were doing our training. And it's amazing what God can do and move in your life when you do something different like that and just speak it out. So speak life out too. Building peace, that's what it's all about. Now, even even Dr. Green, there's some things he'll do where he'll get rid of things that distract him from doing things that are peaceful in his life. So for example, your phone, for example, and social media. If that's a distractor to you, get rid of it. Get rid of Facebook, it's off your phone if you're doing that, or Instagram or social media, wherever it is. A lot of times we get so cooped up into that, it creates more stress when it should not, right? But we're living in a society where that's happening all the time with our kids too. So limiting your phone use, even techniques of moving your phone out of your bedroom and putting it somewhere else and not in your bedroom right next to you where you'll be easily want to pick it up and do something on it. Even when you wake up, don't even look at it or touch it for 30 minutes and do your box breathing instead, You can also do 5 to 10 minutes of positive reading in the morning, reading something inspirational. I feel like it's power in reading an actual physical book instead of looking at your phone in the morning of something of positive. There's just power in that too. And also you can use your exercise in the morning as your peaceful, as your healthy peace techniques as well. I CrossFit, so I've been doing a lot of competitions with that lately too, and so I've been trying to get very fit in my 40s now. Yeah, I know. I want to get a laugh out of y'all somehow. Well, one of my goals for the next 10 years, so I just turned 40. So by the time I turn 50, looking back on 40, I want to call it my fit 40s. So I'm really just diving into being very fit for these next 10 years and staying that as a healthy habit, as months of other healthy habits too. But I'm really focusing on that one for the next 10 years and seeing where God's leading me there as well. But you can do your exercise first thing in the morning, and that's your way of doing it is for your peace. Okay. Last concept, and this is ultimately without this, what we just told you today does not even matter. I call it finding your big why. If you don't have a big enough why, the why of why you want to hit your goals, the why of why you want to be healthy. This is what gets you out of bed early in the morning without hitting the snooze button. So that way you can do your Max 2-3 workout. That way you can do your peace management techniques. That way you can do the advanced plan. That way you can drink plenty of water. That way you can make your smoothie and drink it. That way you can take your supplements along with it. That way whatever you need to do to develop that strong health habit, your big why is what you anchor to. And especially in those times when it gets tough. Because I'm telling you, without a big why of why you do a 30-day challenge, for example, or why you're trying to hit a goal, without a big why, it is so easy to quit. And I've seen it many times over. It's so easy to quit. It's so easy to give up, and it's so easy to get diverted and get distracted to something else and get away from it. And all of a sudden, a year goes by. It's what happened? And now it's time to revisit it again, right? I'm speaking real stuff here now. So what is your big why? Is it big enough to help you fulfill your potential and health and your purpose? Let's actually take a look at an example here. This is Mary Spees in our office.
All right, it's Dr. Barker here at Stagecoach Family Chiropractic, and have a nice young lady here that I wanted to share some cool insights and tips on her journey of health. So go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
I'm Mary Spees, and
how long have you been coming, Mary?
I've been coming about 7 years.
Wow.
I will always remember that because it answered prayer for me.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Yes.
And you and I go really way back now. So 7 years ago, almost, this May will be 7 years that we did a church talk called When Am I Raised at Your Church at Christ Kingdom right there in Winston-Salem.
Yes.
And I remember that's when you first heard the message of hope and healing. And you decided to take action and take care of your health and start living the 5 essentials. And of course, you've been living the 5 essentials for a long time now. So I'd like for you to speak on that. Why do you continue to do the 5 essentials? Why do you continue to get adjusted? Why do you continue to show up?
Oh man, it has been a lifesaver for me. Like I was saying, I remember when you all came to answer prayer, and because I was having trouble with my back, down my lower back, and really in my hips and everything were really bothering me. And so I was just praying. I said, Lord, I said, if I can just go to a chiropractor, I said, I just need, some help. And then, you came, the Lord answered the prayer, and you came as a fundraiser, for our church. And I haven't looked back. And I've stayed committed. I was thinking the other day, I said, I did some burps. And right now, I'm not able to do as many as I used to. But I still try to do some exercises and everything. Yeah. And I'm staying committed because I believe it was in one of your interviews that we had, you talked about it, and I was trying to remember the doctor's name, but he kept up with his adjustments. And he would come in, and once a week he just said that, just keeping up with your adjustment will help you so much. And so I kept that in my heart, in my mind. So that's why I stay focused, and I can see that it's helping me. My hips are so much better. And I had some other issues come in, but every time something come in, doing my adjustment helped me so much. And I'm just proud to be a part of the Stagecoach family, and I just, recommend anyone to, be fully committed for your health. And I know that that's what is helping me. And I'm in the sweet age of 70. I won't say exactly how age.
That's just so amazing.
But I thank God, and I know that, it's helping me to be able to do and still function and do what God will have me to do. That's my main thing, is I want to glorify God with everything that I do. And my health is so important because, he said, by Jesus Christ, we are healed. And I am a witness of it. I go through some things, but I come on out because I hold fast to the Word of God. And then with the Word of God and with Stagecoach, it has helped me and have brought me to where I am now.
Wow, so awesome. Well, Miss Mary, we love you so much, and we enjoy you when you come into the office every time. You always brighten up our days on every Wednesday. You come in every Wednesday at 8:30.
Yes.
And of course, I know you plan to get adjusted for as long as possible, and also take care of your health for as long as possible as well.
Yes.
So we're excited for you and your journey, and still the best is yet to come for you.
Thank you, and I received that. Yes, the best is still yet to come. I'm gonna hold on to that. Yes.
There you go, right? Like a lot of times I'll ask, some of you, to do a testimonial, and I decided to do that with her because, I've known her for such a long time, and it's just, there's so many hidden gems that came out of that right there that literally is the product of why she does what she does. She wants to glorify God by taking care of what? Body, right? I mean, even Darlene said the exact same thing. So it's it's consistent right there. So when you develop a big why like that, it's got to be big enough for you to endure the long haul. Does that make sense? All right. So the moment we've all been waiting for here, the 30-day challenge. We've kind of hinted at this a whole lot, so we want to kind of explain just the gist of this as we're closing down things here for the event. So good job, guys. You made it all the way to the end, right? So that's good. Nobody left? Just kidding. But as we're going through the challenge here, it's a total of 30 days, right? So 30 days generally is a good enough days to help develop habits. Some of you can develop habits in as few as 10 days. Some of you it takes 90 days. But however long it takes, that's what you want to do to develop the habits. So when you sign up for the 30-day challenge, you'll get your packet here, okay? So let me kind of walk through how this works. It's all point-based, okay? This is very similar to what we did a year ago on this makeover as well. So some of you have actually done this last year. So I would say redo it again to see how you did this year versus last year. You can kind of do a little comparative analysis if you wanted to as well, if you like looking at that stuff too. But the way you get your points are this, is by doing a morning smoothie. So you're drinking one smoothie as a meal. Best thing to do is first meal of the day. And we've included an example in your sheet as well. If you're new to doing smoothies or like you want to like do a different one, we've included a recipe and also optional add-ons in there as well to make it a little bit different as well, okay? So that's one point right there. Another point is also an advanced plan lunch. And then the third point is an advanced plan dinner. We've also attached recipes and also advanced plan food items to your packet right here as well. Dr. Green's going to be doing a welcome email to the ones who sign up and send it to your email sometime today. And he's going to include a 14-page recipe book that's advanced plan approved. So we're giving you all the resources with all that right there, okay? So those are the way you get points. Also a point is drinking half your body weight in fluid ounces, okay? So your water intake. Also taking your supplements. So if you want to get the best results, get the Metabolism bundle or get some of those items and take those supplements every single day, and that's your point for the day when you take those. Do a daily workout. And like I said, it does not have to be a max T3 or high intensity or Tabata or anything like that. It can be just a short walk of 15 to 30 minutes. It could be jogging. It could be a sport-related activity. Not sitting and watching somebody play sports, but you got to be doing it. Somebody said, what if I went to my son's game? Does that count? Now stand up and I clap. Does that count? I did up downs, a bunch of times. Anyway, so one daily workout is a point. Also for your spinal health, there's a point for that too. That's if you got adjusted and or you've done your home care exercises. So obviously none of you get adjusted every single day, but if you got adjusted that day and you forgot to do your home care, which I don't recommend it, but if you forgot your home care, that's a point for you. But if you did your home care that day, that's also a point as well. But here's a common question. Can I get adjusted and do my home care and make it 2 points? No, just 1 point. It's like, what? No, just 1 point a day. 1 point a day on that. That's terrible, right? That's terrible. I got to make it a little tough. That's why it's called a challenge. We also added in as a point no alcohol and limit caffeine because obviously. No alcohol. Yep. Limit caffeine to 1 cup of coffee. Oh, I saved somebody there. That's one. Yeah, 1 cup. 1 cup. 1 cup of coffee or tea.
I don't think it is.
Is this a cup right here? You said a cup, right? This entire thing? No, 1 cup, like a measurement of cup, So 1 point for that, and also 1 point for 10 pages of, or just reading for 10 to 15 minutes of personal development book or just something inspirational. Yes, that's another one too. Yes, that counts as that too. So if you do your Bible reading for 10 minutes, that's 1 point, because that's what inspires you, right? So, say again? No, just if you don't do it, that's a point. So a total that you get a day is 9 points. Okay, so that's as much. And also, you have your point tracker that's in there as well, and it's all labeled with every single day of how you're just going to put a 1 point there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to total up to that entire week where it says total. So 9 times 7 is what? So that's the most points you can get in 1 week, right there. And then 53 times 30 days. I'm sorry, that's bad math right there. Never mind. You get my idea. Never mind. I'm not the math teacher. I've married a math teacher. So the challenge is very simple. And when I did this challenge last year, I did it in January before we released it for the first time in February. I did this Metabolism makeover last year, and I had the dad weight. I had a 2-month-old, and throughout that time she wasn't sleeping, and I fell off track. I do fall off track, yes. So I fell off track, and I wasn't working out very often, and I was eating whatever I could get my hands on because it was just off my regimen, off my routine, right? And then I gained an extra 20 pounds during that time. And I did this challenge, and guess what? Gone. And guess what? It's still gone, right? Because I still do the health habits, so I know stuff works. So that may not be your goal to do this challenge, but I want the goal to be to get healthier and develop strong health habits. If that's your goal, then do the challenge too. It's not to get a weight loss goal. But if it is your weight loss goal, that's going to be a byproduct too, okay? So to get signed up for the challenge, actually, no, you talk about stuff. I'm talking too much here.
Yeah, So there was a lot of stuff there. I will send the email to you guys sometime later today. So when you do sign up, try to rate your email so I have a chance to read it. And it'll have all the details of the points, how you submit the points. We are going to do prizes for you guys as well. So the top 3 men and the top 3 women will get prizes. So there'll be a little competition, maybe something to help hold you accountable. But everything will be in that email that you need to have success with the challenge.
So for 3 guys that do it, guess what? You're going to be all winners.
There's usually not too many guys that sign up. You got a good chance to win. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the challenge. So we're gonna wrap up here. Everything we'll be doing at the end here is out in the lobby. So make sure you check out Nikki with crunchy makeup, and I just found out about the kids thing, so I didn't hear the details of that. It sounded really awesome. So make sure you stop and talk to her as well. Products, make sure you fill out the product sheet like we talked about. That's going to be on the left side of the lobby. You'll just kind of form a line and meet with the team, and they'll get you guys your products as quickly as possible. Sign up for the challenge. Get with Dr. Barker or his
and also
his
my mom, Go-Go. Raise your hand, Go-Go. She's the Go-Go in the office, so that's her right there.
So yeah.
And also last thing too, I love when we do this right here as well. Anytime we do these workshops, makeovers, even like the community dinners or like talks and things like that in the community, they're all about helping you stay engaged and also building health at the same time. And the way I look at it is like the game of football, right? We all have our favorite football teams, right? And now the football season's done already, but I love talking about it anyway, even after the fact. Right, Bart? But there are some teams out there that score that have very good offenses, and they score a ton of points on the other team, right? Y'all know who those teams are, which means they all have crappy what? Defenses, which means they get a lot of points scored on them. So here's how I look at health. If you can score enough points without, and still having a crappy defense, but like not getting enough to like scoring those points there, points are like, your health. If you can score enough and stay healthy, that means the defense can't catch up. And we see that through with people who stay engaged, right? People like Mary Spees, people like Paul Mulliken right here, Casey Cooley, my mother-in-law Judy, my mom, and many of you who continue to show up every single time to events, even though if you know the stuff, but you still show up because there's always something new and learning you want to do, right? Also Mona as well. Like I want to make sure I don't forget anybody, but like all the success stories come from you engaging in the events. So there's a sheet in all of your packets right now, so I want you to go to it very quickly here. This is the last thing we'll do before we disperse. It's a white sheet that says upcoming events. So you'll do the best possible when you engage in events, and we're always doing stuff, post makeovers like this as well. So there's 3 things that you have opportunities that you can come to plug into as well. We're doing a very special Max T3 workout with Lonnie Price. Some of y'all been to that too, right? He's been here twice, right? He's also a patient in the office. His mom is here as well, Beverly. He's my age too, he's 40. I can say that. But he runs a very special high intensity short duration workout. It's kind of like a mixed martial arts, shadow boxing, cardio mixture together. It's very fun. It's good. And he's doing that Saturday, March 25th at 8:30 in the morning at our office. So if you want to, if you're interested in getting more information about that or wanting to come to it, just put a check there, okay? The one below it is our community dinner. A lot of you have come to our community dinner where you get fed an awesome meal. It's one of those opportunities where you can introduce people you love and care about that are having health conditions or they just need help. They can come to the dinner to help hear the message of hope and healing for the first time. And what you can do is you can bring up to three guests with you to the dinner. And dinners are always no cost to do them. I just love doing that as a service for the community. Our next dinner, we do them once a month. Our next one's going to be on Tuesday, March the 14th at 5:30 p.m. at the 66 Grill and Tap House in Winston. If you have people in mind and you want to come to that, if you're interested in about that too, just put a check there, okay? The last one is my man Dr. Green does an awesome dive in deeply with Nutrition 101 on our advanced plan and also our core plan, which is our regular plan that most of us do as well. So he dives into deeper about food by God versus food by man. So if you want to get more information on that and more diving in deep with that, he does that on Saturday, March the 18th at 11 o'clock at our office. So here's a cool thing. Come get adjusted Saturday. Oh, actually come work out with us at 8:30, get adjusted, and then stay for the nutrition workshop. All in one. Isn't cool? And then come to dinner that very next week. So here's what you do. Write your name, check off the ones you want to come to, and if you're actually not a patient, make sure you write some type of best way to contact you. If you decide not to come into the office, just put a way to contact you so that way we can contact you about these things as well. Okay? All right, that's it. And yeah, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fill those out. Sorry. Go ahead and fill those out and pass them in to Katie and to Lisa right here. They'll help you collect those, your white sheets. So go ahead and do what you're going to do there and pass them in to those two. They'll collect them.
Yeah, the last thing, guys, we got a little out of order. I went over most of the action steps, so check everything out there. If there's anyone here who hasn't been a patient in our office, come find me out in the lobby. If you're interested in having your nervous system evaluated, we can go ahead and get that set up for you sometime next week or as soon as you guys are ready for it. Other than that, let's go Kickstart Metabolisms.
Let's go out and make it happen, baby. All right.